and shout. It's time for What's Trending. Presented by Bodyguards, protection for a life worth living. Learn more at bodyguards.com. We asked the question off the top of the show. Let's go ahead and go back to it now. Is there any way that BYU football, after losing 4 straight games, falling to 4-5 on the season, can salvage the season, Jarom?
No. Okay, coming up in the next...
Wow.
No, they cannot salvage it.
Nothing.
I just don't believe that BYU could win 4 straight here and get to 8-5. Because if they got to 8-5, we would certainly be better and, dare I say, good after ending the season on a high note there, right? Finishing the regular season with Boise State, Utah Tech, Stanford, and TBD ESPN-owned bowl game. Yes, we would feel better, but this team was too experienced and too good coming off of 11-1 and now 10-3 for us to accept happily 8-5, especially the way that BYU has plummeted midseason. I don't think there is. Certainly they can do things to improve and get better and have a nice end of the season and we'll feel better. But to salvage, you can't salvage a 9-win season anymore. Like 9 was felt like, okay, if this team is pretty good, they'll get 10. If they're good but not great, they'll get 9. Then 8 is like, eh. But I don't even see BYU getting 8 right now. The way BYU's playing, no, I see 6 or 7 in the cards right now. It could be 5. Like if BYU at Boise State's a tough game. That's a tremendous defense. Tremendous defense. Offense not so great. Stanford's a winnable game, it feels like. They don't even have the tree. Like they're depleted in that regard against Elder McKee there. Utah Tech's a win. So I just don't see how BYU somehow gets to 8. And that's the high end, Spence.
So even 8 would not salvage the season for you.
You can't salvage. The expectations were high for this group, and they should have been. That was a fair expectation. So, no, I don't think it's salvageable.
As I so often do on this show, and because I love cars, I'm going to go to the world of automobiles. Yes, planes, trains, and automobiles, Jarom.
More on trains, please.
BYU at one point this year was cruising along the highway, freeway speeds, top down, wind blowing through the hair. Everyone's feeling good. They're number 12 in the country after beating Baylor.
So 2-0, very early.
And then they get in an accident up in Eugene. And
that was a bad one.
Everyone's okay, per se. The car's okay. You come back to Provo and you kind of, limp through a couple of wins. You're still 4-1, number 6 team. Car's performing adequately. It's okay, right? And then 4 straight losses have absolutely rolled this BYU automobile into a ditch and have made it immovable, right? You can't, there's nothing you do. You have to have that thing towed. And we've entered a scenario where the car's never going to be the same. So in terms of salvaging the car or the automobile back to where it once was, no, that's never going to happen. This car this season will never be the same because what BYU has gone through. However, there are 3 terms. There's a rebuilt title, there's a salvage title, and then there's a total loss. The rebuilt title can still be insured, and it can still sell on a lot, right? It's still it's something that a consumer could buy and be okay with, right? Not telling you to love it, just be okay with it, and you can still get it insured. That probably is going to take BYU winning 7 or 8 games, finishing with a winning record, right? To make it palatable and not make you want to throw up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a rebuilt title. It's never going to be the same car, so it's not going to be great. But it's okay, I still got my car, and it still kind of works, and I got the insurance back on it, so it's okay. Now the salvage title is a little harder to sell because insurance companies are kind of weary of it, and it's it was in a big accident. I don't know how good I feel.
Big 12 insurance companies still taking BYU luckily.
Yeah, if BYU finishes with 6 wins, that's kind of the salvage title scenario where it's not great and you're going to have a tough time getting anybody to buy that product. And so some significant changes are going to be made. You probably have to get rid of that car and get another car. Okay?
You're talking about a certain side of the ball.
You can read into that how you want to read into that.
Coaching,
right?
Okay? I anticipate, regardless of what happens this year, there will be coaching changes.
Okay?
I'm not talking about the head coach. I'm talking about assistants.
Then there's the total loss. It just goes to the junkyard, and you just you tear that car apart and pull off the good pieces that still work, and you sell those individually. Okay? Yeah. If BYU finishes with 5 wins, this season will be a total loss. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they will figure out a way to get to 6 wins and get to a bowl game.
You better beat Stanford.
Not saying they're going to win the bowl game, but BYU will figure out a way to get to 6 wins and have at least a salvage title that's going to require some significant offseason work and maybe ultimately getting rid of the car and bringing in something else. But the rebuilt title feels like a stretch, right? It's been like this car's been in so many different accidents and has gone through so much significant damage in terms of a season. Like, it's going to be tough to get back to 7 or 8 wins. If BYU does that, then yeah, we're like, okay, it's okay. Things are a little bit better, and there's some positive momentum moving forward on the highway toward the Big 12 next season. It feels like a reach. It feels like BYU is probably going to be centered on a salvage title season. So not great, never going to be the same car.
Yeah,
but hoping that BYU can get to 6, maybe 7 wins with a bowl game win. This is tough.
I think
there's no way around it.
To your analogy, I think after Oregon, that car was way more damaged than we thought. We didn't realize it at the time.
Sure.
Something happened to the car and the people in the car.
Internally, Jarom.
Yes, there was internal bleeding, bruising, whatever, to continue the analogy. Yes, because against Utah State and Wyoming, we were like, wait a minute. That's weird.
Something was broken. So the car
why
might
isn't
look
BYU scoring 40? Why are they scoring in the 20s? Like, what's going on?
Maybe the body work looked okay,
that was an
but like
indication.
the engine inside was like not right.
Yeah, this team, could have won the Notre Dame game still. Arkansas, you're not going to win at home. Liberty is now ranked, by the way, 23rd. Good job. You did it, Liberty.
Every team
East
that
Carolina
BYU has lost to, by the way, is either ranked or receiving votes.
Yeah, and again, we all wanted this, right? The tough schedule. This is what we wanted.
This is what's going to be in the Big 12.
And it felt like this was a ramp up, to the Big 12. I would argue if BYU's in the Big 12 this year, they're 3-6 or worse. Like, the Big 12's awesome this year. There's so many top 40 squads here. It's like ECU's good team. ECU's probably 9th through 12th in the Big 12 this year. Like, that's good ball. Will it be good ball next year? Probably. We hope not. So BYU can go to a bowl game. Because next year, again, you go in new year 1 in the league, and you start at make a bowl game. Because you go 2-1 in non-conference. Let's just call right now. That's how it's going to be.
Beat Sam Houston and Southern Utah.
And then you hope you lose at Arkansas. And then you hope you go 4-5 in league. And then you get 6 wins. That's the hope.
Well, and again, when you look at what
we
BYU
want this.
What BYU can salvage in terms of what pieces they will actually bring back for next year's squad, that opens a whole other conversation.
Yes, and I know there's a lot of people that are like, hey, we need to look at whether Kalani's still the guy here. Kalani's still the guy. There's certainly on defense there need to be some adjustments, some changes to figure out the right situation. Again, we get real used to the continuity of coaches that stay for a long time here at BYU. It's not common to have the same staff year over year over year, right? BYU's maybe switched, like Kevin Clune joined a couple years ago. You switched with A-Rod and Mateos and Grimes with the Baylor. BYU's continuity on the coaching staff has been pretty good the last couple of years. It's not common. Typically, assistants are going and coming and blah, blah, blah. I imagine that in the offseason there'll be some tweaks there. Just naturally, because there was such high standard, BYU's going to make some adjustments at this point. And if you're a head coach, what you do is you switch coordinators and staff on sides of the ball, depending on the year, to sort of offload, okay, we got to do this, and then eventually it comes down on you. Like if BYU has 3 losing seasons in a row or something, it's different. This was one where maybe BYU is still going to salvage, as you mentioned, a winning season, which would be great. It would stink to have a losing record with this group.
Oh, my goodness.
Get that 5th win. Stanford's the most winnable game now. Boise State is a really tough game on Saturday. We'll break it down more throughout the week. That defense is only giving up, 200-something yards a game.
Not just that, the mentality, Jarom. BYU's lost 4 straight games still. They're still riding on that streak. BYU's going to beat Utah Tech and have some type of positive momentum going to Stanford.
Yes.
That's a different mentality that BYU takes into Boise than they will into Stanford.
Yes. Yes. And Boise State, 12th in points allowed, 17 a game right now. You kidding me? Again, they haven't played a super tough schedule. Their big non-con game was Oregon State.
And they got hammered.
Who was
ranked.
Yep. Hank Bachmeier's not the guy anymore. They started 2-2. They fired Tim Plow, the OC. Dirk Cutter, the ex-head coach there, is on staff. Can you imagine Bronco being an analyst on the staff and then suddenly he's the DC or something? That would be wild, right? I think some of you actually wanted that. 9th in 3rd downs. They only gave up 170 yards to Colorado State, 3 rushing yards.
Colorado State's historically bad.
They're terrible. But the offense isn't crushing it for Boise State either. 360 a game. They have 11 giveaways. They're a really good second-half team, plus 80. So there are things there where I go, hey, if the BYU offense can somehow hang and put up some points against this Boise State defense, that Boise State offense not doing crazy stuff. Granted, BYU's really banged up on the defense side of the ball, especially. So it's hard to feel confident going into Boise right now. But somehow, as you mentioned, in 2019, if BYU goes back to its slump-busting buddy, Boise State,
and takes care of business.
2-4.
Yep.
They were ranked. No one's ranked in this matchup, certainly, but this would be the craziest. Well, second craziest, probably the 2019 win that BYU will have had against Boise State. And I don't know that BYU cares, and maybe Boise State cares. I don't know. This is the last matchup they'll have for a while, maybe ever. I don't know that BYU is ever going to play Boise State. Like, why would you? A quality G5? You don't need that game, especially when you're trying to make a bowl game.
Yeah, interesting game. This is the one that if BYU can put it together, this would be the biggest step in getting back to a rebuilt title for sure. Because if BYU loses this game win, and they're 4-6, then it's like, okay, they limp into Utah Tech, handle that game, try and build something positive, and you go to Stanford. Like at that point, you've lost 5 games in a row, and the best you can do if you win out, including a bowl game, is 7-6. Like BYU would need a 3-game win streak, including a bowl game win, to have a winning record to get to 7-6.
Like, I don't expect BYU to win at Boise right now.
Well, neither does anybody in Las Vegas. They're a 7.5-point underdog.
I sure hope they do. That'd be awesome. That'd be a huge win. And defensively, if BYU plays like it did on Saturday, they've got a chance. The offense needs to play a little better than it did on Saturday, finish another drive or two.
Well, that's tough
a little more
because,
explosive.
As you pointed out, Boise State has a markedly better defense than East Carolina does.
Yes, they do. Now, yeah. The offense got to show up. I hope the explosive BYU offense can be there. BYU's not been explosive in its losses. I believe the longest play, I looked this up, I believe the longest play is like 23 yards or 30 yards or something. Like in losses, BYU's not explosive whatsoever. Like the longest play was 30 yards on Saturday.
Now, it's interesting you bring up that word and that statistic because I talked to Jaron Hall about that yesterday. You'll hear that conversation later this week.
I can't wait.
Specifically on BYU's lack of explosive offense.
I could just go watch it later.